But I want to shift to the book you're working on now, because I just love this term, the permissionless organization. What do you mean by the permissionless organization?
Well, it refers to techniques and technologies that allow consequential decisions to be made as close to the edges of the organization as possible. So that you have the ability for small teams to act in the moment as they feel they should act, which makes the company much more responsive. The trendy way to talk about this is agility, right? But it's more than that kind of, that scaffolding of scrums and all that sort of language that's now gotten kind of, as with many management tools, as we were just talking about. It's
a whole nother podcast, right?
Yeah, it kind of gets distorted. But I think the reality of it is what technology can do now is actually step in and replace what a lot of management used to be. So in a multi-layered bureaucracy, you had people who were coordinators and they needed to run around with clipboards, metaphorically checking on things and allocating tasks to people and so forth. Whereas if you use technology well and you design the organization right, a couple of things can be done. So firstly, you can create teams where everything is available to them that they need. So you reduce and eliminate dependencies.
The dependencies, the dreaded dependencies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's one. Secondly, you get them focused, and this is back to this concept of focus, you get them focused on a few tasks which are important, but which can be completed end to end in a compressed period of time. So we were working with Fidelity Personal Investing, and this was when Kathy Murphy was running it. And she did this little study of about 100 people in the part of the company that she worked for, and they looked at what they were doing all day long and found a couple of interesting things. So the first thing they found was that on average, the people were working on 10 to 12 mission critical issues at the same time, right? But everybody's wasn't the same 10 to 12. So that was the first thing. So that you were time shifting all day long. And so your meetings were not all about one thing. Your time was kind of peanut buttered all over all these tasks. Second thing was the dependency question, which is they were doing things sequentially. So it would start off maybe at, programming, and then maybe it would go to marketing, and then maybe it would go whatever. So things were being done in sequence, and sometimes critical information that would have been really, really good to know at the beginning of the process, they didn't get to it till the end. So, you might get all the way down a programming channel before legal would say, you can't do that, or whatever. And then the last thing that they found was that people were very frustrated because, critical information that they knew existed somewhere wasn't available to them to get their jobs done. So they redesigned the organization, basically. They said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to work in small teams. Instead of work being allocated to teams, work's going to get pulled in by teams. So we're going to have an agreement on what are the core objectives that we want to meet here. And then the teams were set free to really work in a very single-minded way on one or two tasks at a time boxed with discrete outcomes all along the way. And what she found when they reorganized that way was that the time to complete a particular, say, feature on the website was reduced by 75%. So when I say permissionless, I don't mean chaotic. What I mean is you're architecting a set of principles that allow you to have people really close to the customer, really close to your ecosystem, really close to the edges of your organization to make quite substantial decisions without having to get permission from anybody.